Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to use shape tweens to make a card flip. So start out with your rectangle tool, and I'm just going to make a blue rectangle in the shape of a card, like this. Okay, so we're going to make a card flip in place, and we're just kind of fast, so it's not going to cover a whole lot of frames. So let's go make our next keyframe, and this is where we're going to make our shape tween. So let's go to frame 8 here, so 6, 7, 8. Put a keyframe, and I want to have this rotate about 80 degrees backwards. Okay, so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get my free transform tool, which is keyboard shortcut Q, and what I want to do is I want to bring this top right corner in and the top left corner in. This is known as shearing, and the way you do that is you hold Command and click and drag the corner like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I want to move the same distance in as I did on the other side. Okay, so we're trying to change the perspective of it a little bit. Now I want to shrink this down, but I want to shrink it so that the center stays right here in the center. See, if I pull it down like this, the center moves down. If I move it like this, the center goes up. I want to keep the center right here. The way I do that is I hold Option and shrink it down like this. Okay, so we're going to go from the card all the way up like this until it's rotating back like that. And we'll go ahead and set up our shape tween. So we'll right click anywhere between our two keyframes and click Create Shape Tween. And it looks kind of weird, but we'll fix that in a second. Okay, so it goes to this. Now I want this card to flip about 20 degrees. In other words, flip upside down. So in order for it to look different on the next frame, I have to put a keyframe in, like that. And we want to flip this. So we'll go Modify, Transform, Flip Vertical, like that. Okay, now we want to go from this shape back to the original shape. Okay, and that's going to be on a frame 16 here. Now I could put a keyframe in and somehow draw that original card, but that's going to take too long. I may not get it the exact same size. It may not be in the same location. Really, the best way to get this exact card is just copy this frame and paste it onto frame 16. So we'll do that. We'll go here to frame 1. We'll click on frame 1, right click, copy frames, go here to frame 16, right click, paste frames. So you'll see now it pastes that card in there. So now I can do my shape tween like that. Now that's actually the correct rotation right there. That's how this first one is supposed to look, but it's not. But we're going to fix that right here. So go to frame 1. Flash is trying to guess what we're trying to shape tween. We're going to help Flash out and tell it exactly what we want using these things called shape hints. Now the long way to get these is to go Modify, Shape, Add Shape Hint. That's the long way. We're going to use the keyboard shortcut here. So I'm going to select my card, and I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-H. Okay? That makes this little letter A right here with a circle. It really doesn't matter where you put this, but we're going to move this to the top left corner. We'll start right there. Okay, so I'm using this little A right here. Now watch, that's on this first keyframe. Now I'm going to go to my next keyframe, and you'll see there's an A already there. Since I moved the A to the top left corner on this keyframe, I want to do the same thing, move this to the top left corner on this one. We're saying, Flash, match these corners together as this shape tweens. So now we go to frame 1. It's going to take a lot of these shape hints. So I'm going to make another one here. That's B. I'll move that to the top right, and then move it to the top right here. We're just going to keep going here. You can just follow along with me. It's going to take about 8 of these probably. So we'll get the 4 corners all lined up. And now I'm going to put one in the middle right here of this left edge. Do the same thing here. Okay. Put one in the middle of the right edge, like that. There we go. Actually, it only took 6. All right, so as long as you put one in the 4 corners and then put a shape hint on the left edge or the right edge, make sure they all line up correctly with the right letters. And now when we play this, we get a card flipping on a constant loop like this. Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to shape tween some shapes into letters. And we could do the opposite here. And it's very similar to shape tweens we've done before, but there's one little difference, and that's the reason I'm having you guys do this. Okay, we're going to have 3 shapes shape tween into the letters GHS. So let's go ahead and get my oval tool. I'm going to draw an oval like that, a rectangle, and then another rectangle right next to it. So this is the circle will turn to the oval will turn to a G, this box will turn to an H, and this box will turn into an S. The reason I chose these is because G is kind of circular in shape. It's more circular than it is box. H is more box shaped, and really S is really neither one, but I know the box works, so I'm going to do the box here. Okay, so on frame 1, it's going to start out looking like these boxes, or these shapes, I should say. Let's go to frame 30, put a keyframe, and this is where it should be letters, basically. So here's how we'll do this. Let's go one letter at a time. I'm going to delete the circle, and I'm going to get my text tool. And if you look here, I'm using the font Impact. And for my font size, you're going to have to, if you try to click and drag, it only goes to 96. I'm going to go to 120. So you have to double click right there and type it in. So we want to Impact font size 120. I'm going to draw a box. It's not drawing in the right place, but that's okay. Put a capital G there. And then I'll get here and get my move tool and just kind of move it down, kind of where I think the circle's at. Okay, do the same thing for the other boxes. Okay, so I delete all my shapes and I put letters in their place. If I want to double check real quick and make sure my letters are in the same spot where the boxes were, I can go down here to my timeline. Here at the bottom, I have these little purple buttons here. Right there. That first one's called onion skinning. That's what I want to see. If I click this, this will show me, if you look right here, it's showing me what's on frames 29 and 28. That's what that little region right there means. So I'm seeing the box. Actually, my shapes are pretty well. My letters are right in the same spot. The H probably needs moved over just a little bit. But the G and the S look like they're in a pretty good spot there. So that just kind of helps me see what's on other frames. I'm going to click onion skin again to turn it off. Okay. Okay, now if I try to shape tween this right now, I get this dotted line. And you can see it does not work. It just jumps straight to the letters. Actually, the shapes disappear and the letters just show up. The reason it's not working, and if you can tell right here, so you can tell these shapes are selected because they have dots in them. On frame 30, you can tell the letters are selected because they have boxes around them. Okay, you can see that there's 2 different methods to showing how they're selected. That's what's creating the problem. These blue boxes will always create a problem anytime you're trying to do a shape tween. Whether these are symbols or text or object drawings, whatever, they will always create a problem. So I'm going to take my tween off here. What we have to do is we have to break these letters apart into shapes like this. See, we have dotted lines. That's how we have little dots in there. That's how we know they're shapes. That's an easy way of telling. So I'm going to go to my G right here, and we're going to break it apart. The keyboard shortcut is Command B for break apart. So Command B breaks it apart. Now you see the little dots. Now it's a shape. I'm going to do the same thing to the H and to the S. So all 3 of these are broken apart now. Now I can put my shape tween on, and now they kind of morph into the letters like that. Now the problem is when you play this, you can't read the letters very well because they only show up clearly for one frame. So I want to be able to see the letters a little bit longer. It's a really easy thing to fix. All you have to do, you have to decide how long do you want to see them there. Let's say you want to see them there for 50 frames. Okay, so we'll add 50 to this 30. That puts us at 80. And all you gotta do is hit F5. F5 just puts in a regular frame. See, there's no keyframe, there's no dot there, just a regular frame. And that just kind of holds the letters in place for 50 frames. So when I play this, the letters stay there before looping again. And that's it. Go ahead and save this one as text and save your card as card flip.